Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about all that pollen you've been singing. I know it's springtime and Atlanta completely turns yellow. Well, I'm here with Michelle from CBS, and we're going to give you some tips about how to maintain a little sanity.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming on the show. In Georgia, it's bananas. No matter what we do, it seems like we can't get away from the pollen. Do you have any tips?
There's definitely some tips. I know that everybody is experiencing the sneezing, the itchy and watery eyes, the congestion. So, pollen is definitely high right now, and there are definitely medications that we can use to treat these allergy symptoms.
Excellent. Is it just in our heads, or do you have any idea of what the pollen conditions really are in Georgia about this time?
So, I checked this morning and it looked like it was in the 700s, which is actually high for Georgia and anywhere really right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, good. At least we know we're not. We're feeling like we're a little crazy sometimes when we're all of the congestion and everything. Because again, some of it feels like flu, and so flu season has been extended, and so we're not quite sure. Are there any tips about knowing whether or not these are allergies or whether we're really getting sick?
So typically your allergy symptoms are going to be your sneezing, your itchy eyes, that congestion in the nose. Definitely if you have a concern on if it's sickness or if it's allergies, I would definitely talk to your healthcare professional or visit a minute clinic near you to get the diagnosis.
There's so many options, which is great for allergy treatments when we're thinking about going over the counter. When we go to our local CVS, there's so much there. Do you have any guidance as to, how we should lean in one direction rather than the other?
Sure. So allergy medicines typically fall into three different categories. You have your antihistamines, your decongestants, and your nasal corticosteroids. And then there's also a option of some non-medicated products. So it really depends on what the symptoms are for the three different categories of medicines.
Okay. And it's one thing for us to suffer, but I know some of the parents are really losing their minds because not only are they going through it, but the kids are going through it. Do you have any tips for things that maybe the parents can take and the kids can take, or do we always need to buy two separate? Do we have to have a kids allergy section in the house and a parents allergy section? What are your thoughts?
So kids definitely get allergies. Typically, they're starting around, but not before two. They seasonal allergies start typically after 2 years old. And then if you're wondering if it's cold or allergies, definitely talk to the doctor about that with the child. And it depends on the product. Typically, you are going to have the children's allergy medicine and then the adult allergy medicine, depending on the dosage.
Are there any dangers that we should be aware of? I'm glad that you mentioned that because I think that sometimes we're not aware. We think, oh, it's over the counter. This is going to be fine no matter what. But are there any things that we should be aware of when we're making those decisions?
So there's definitely different medications that are not recommended for people with different conditions. So, read the labels, read the warnings. It will give you some of those warnings on there. If you have a question, you can definitely reach out with the pharmacist on staff at CVS or again, the healthcare professional. But there definitely are some precautions with different types of medications.
Okay, okay. As we're thinking about getting to our local minute clinic, where do we go? Where do we go to find out the one that's closest to us? I know some clinics seem to be in my area, seem to be a lot more extensive than others. Do we have any tips about how to navigate that?
Sure. So you can do the CVS app and you can get your Minute Clinic air in your local area there, and you can make appointments on the app. And most of them are going to be full service Minute Clinics. And like you said, extensive. Some of them are even, offering some primary care services as well.
Oh, excellent. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because my last question is what about appointments? Is this a walk in situation? Can we call our minute clinic and say, hey, I'm feeling like this, and get a specific appointment? Like what does that look like?
So they are walk-in. However, if they have a time slot available, you can sign up on the kiosk inside the Minute Clinic. I would definitely advise you to go on the app and do it ahead of time, just so you know you have that appointment on the books.
Michelle, thank you so much for coming on the show and getting us ready for, it seems like it's flu season has been extended and spring season in Georgia is just bananas. So there's so much up in the air. We appreciate your time and trying to keep us healthy.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we don't have to go through this alone. I know some of you have been struggling. Some of you have an entire family struggling. There are things for kids, there are things for adults. Please take the opportunity to go to your local CVS Minute Clinic and maybe ask, some questions, get an appointment. Make this the time to get healthy and stay healthy for the fabulous spring and summer weather we're about to enjoy. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to this segment of Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back with more.